In the headlines, Dominica to be better positioned to respond to disasters with disaster reduction equipment from Japan. Telecoms Minister appeals for Airtel management to place lower roaming rates high on its agenda, and a request for an environmental court by environmental health authorities. I am Lurian Graham Carter with the Channel 5 News. Details coming up. Top in the news, over $1.5 million in equipment from Japan will strengthen Dominica's hand at responding to disasters. On Friday, the government of Japan signed an exchange of notes for Japan's grant aid for the provision of disaster reduction equipment. The equipment is valued at approximately $1.7 million. The first shipment is expected to arrive on island this month.
We believe that the disaster reduction equipment funded by the government of Japan under this agreement will be a valuable contribution towards our strategy to mitigate against the impact of natural disasters. This grant aid in the sum of 200 million Japanese yen, which is equivalent to approximately $1,658,000, is a significant and most generous contribution by the government of Japan to our country. It will be used for the procurement of disaster reduction equipment of high quality made by Japanese enterprises, which will be fully utilized to make Dominica more resilient.
Minister for National Security says Japan has played a key role in helping Dominica's developmental process.
The system that they provided helped us a lot, especially as it relates to DOASCO's ability to install temporary storage system in the various communities and localities throughout the country that was impacted by this monster storm, Erika. We also benefited from generators, cots, and all those equipments that are needed immediately after the passage of a storm or any natural disaster. Let me again express my gratitude to you and the people of Japan. Our intention, therefore, is to build a more robust physical infrastructure, ensuring that what we do now is going to be much better than what previously obtained.
Representative of the government of Japan says his country is happy to provide assistance to developing states, particularly due to their vulnerability to climate change.
The tremendous damage caused by Tropical Storm Erika in late August last year, which the Commonwealth of Dominica suffered, is a case in point. Building the capacity to withstand their impact is therefore a major challenge in the region. It is our hope that this grant aid program will not only significantly reduce disaster damages in the Commonwealth of Dominica in the future, but will also support the Commonwealth of Dominica in adapting itself to climate change.
In 2014, the first Japan-CARICOM summit meeting was held where Japan's Prime Minister committed his country's assistance to help CARICOM countries recover from natural disasters. One educational institution on island is playing its part in helping to reduce Dominica's food import bill. That is the aim of the newest program launched by the Dominica State College on Friday. The Agribusiness Entrepreneurship Program forms part of the CARICOM Education for Employment Program, CEFE. Senior Technical Advisor for CEFE says sustainable development within a country is of utmost importance in the 21st century.
And one of the key requirements of that program is that whatever content-based program would be developed with the Canadian government funding would have to meet the needs of Dominica and help to support the growth of the economy in Dominica. And this project, I think, does that very brilliantly. Based on labor market information, it combines two key economic drivers for small island developing countries, agriculture and entrepreneurship. I have to commend the college and the country for this focus on agribusiness through the CEFE program, because I think it will contribute to sustainability, to reduce food import bills for Dominica, to support the agritourism, and what a good fit for the Nature Island.
President of the State College says the institution is pleased to provide a program which is in line with government's vision of reducing the food import bill.
To encourage rural development and food security, agricultural education and training in developing countries have tried to focus on productivity. When you go in the supermarket today, we see most of the products made in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad is a developing country, the industrial country, but agriculture is still one of the main products. And if you go in the stores, you will see the results of it. I think Dominica has to be there. And that is why I'm elated that the DSC, together with the partners, are taking on the responsibility to move our country and our college towards economic development.
The Agribusiness Entrepreneurship Program will begin on Tuesday and run for 2 semesters. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
Minister for Information and Telecommunication challenges the Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority to negotiate a reduction in roaming rates in the region. Minister Daru used Thursday's evening's launching ceremony of ECTEL's 15th anniversary magazine to call on ECTEL to focus greater on the issues facing customers with the roaming rates within the OECS.
This has been a key agenda item for the last couple of years, and I believe it is high time that we take a decision to advise the Council of Ministers to move forward in a very decisive way so that the consumers within the OECS territories can benefit from a reduction of roaming rates. I continue to encourage dialogue with the service providers so that we can reach an amicable resolution. And at the end of the day, once a decision is taken, the consumers within the OECS territories will benefit.
Honorable Kelvadaru says service providers play an important role in the lives of customers and they must ensure that they receive value for their money.
And it doesn't always mean that you have to have a vice grip around the service providers. It simply means that we have to have better communication between the two. There has to be leverage. There has to be a level playing field. And at the end of the day, we have to continue to ensure that the market remains open. It's a free entry market, and we also have to continue to provide and protect the consumers that we provide the service to.
Meanwhile, former Minister of Health Julius Timothy has been appointed the new chairman of the ECTEL Board of Directors. Timothy says he is interested in pushing for cheaper internet rates since he considers the rates of service providers expensive.
We have here a submarine cable that is at Donkey Beach, and we really are not using what we have here. And I intend to use the knowledge at ECTEL to ensure that the people of Dominica are able to use the internet and other services available to us at reasonable rates.
Dominicans are being called upon to volunteer their services towards the rebuilding efforts post-tropical storm Erica.
The Adventist Development and Relief Agency, ADRA, in Dominica has committed to assisting with the resettlement of people displaced by Tropical Storm Erica. Since the start of the year, a team of US and UK professionals from ADRA has been on island to ensure construction of houses. However, coordinator of ADRA Dominica, Ms. Priscilla Prevost, says help from the Dominican population would ensure the swift construction of the houses.
I just want to let our viewers know that they can contribute as well. If you have skill, you're a carpenter, you're a mason, you're a steel bender, and you want to come in and give your services to assist somebody to resettle, the soonest, I think we would welcome that kind of contribution. Quite a bit of work have already taken place, and I'm really, really happy with the CDR team here and our local persons who have been volunteering on the project.
ADRA plans to construct 8 to 10 houses in the first instance and may construct more houses if funds are made available.
Persons are contributing towards the project from our churches, the Caribbean Union, and they have been contributing towards the project. So I want our Dominican folks to know that this project is largely supported by the churches in the Caribbean Union, and also some churches in UK, Canada, and the US. I believe if all the churches were to contribute, we'd have more than enough money that we need. However, everybody have challenges, and while we face our challenges here, the persons are facing challenges out there as well.
This plot of houses is based in Plat Mapier between Coliho and Bioche on the west coast.
The area is not a flat area, so that if you were working on a flat area, then things would progress much, faster. But because of the slopey area, you have to dig the foundation, you have to put steel, so the steel, we're doing steel bending, the boxing for the columns. Some of that has already been prepared, so we are ready to pour concrete for the foundation on by next week, Monday.
The construction of houses in Plat Mapier is expected to last for 6 months. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
A businessman is advising the manufacturing sector that now more than ever, their business operations have to step up considering the impact of Tropical Storm Erica. Jean-Yves Bonnier, in his remarks as outgoing president of the Dominica Manufacturers Association, says manufacturers should not handle their affairs like it's business as usual. Bonnier, who has completed his first term as head of DMA, addressed their 4th annual general meeting on Wednesday.
Very often we forget that quality must be also about the services that are attached to the product. Very often we have excellent products that we do not market properly. We sometimes forget to do proper after-sale care. Our customer relation is not always what it should be. And this is why at DMA level, this is a topic that we really wanted to bring up to the table, especially in those times of reconstruction.
He says this issue came up after a DIC organized meeting with the private sector on rebuilding post-Tropical Storm Erica, which highlighted the need to build back better.
And I think all those business support organizations have recognized the fact that an event as dramatic as it has been, Erica, is also an opportunity to think about how we do things, how we manufacture in our case. And it's always those kind of events, an opportunity to do things differently and better.
The DMA will announce its new executive when members are selected for the position by next week. You are watching Channel 5 News. When we return, what's the next step for farmers of the National Abattoir? Welcome back. A proposal has been made to the authorities to have a day designated at the court to hear environmental health and solid waste cases. Idona John Baptist has more.
The Environmental Health Department is up to its neck with documented reports of people who have been ticketed for littering. The 1990 Litter Act and Solid Waste Management Act of 2002 cover the penalties for littering and indiscriminate dumping. While these are offenses, seeking enforcement of these regulations is difficult. Environmental health authorities are calling for the cases related to these offenses to actually be heard by the court.
Environmental health right now, we have folders thick like this with cases prepared for court for years, and they are going nowhere. The cases are not being called, to the point where our officers are even frustrated. Oh, why issue tickets? Why issue notices? Why take on this task if the cases are not being called? And unless you have a day in court for environmental health cases and solid waste cases to make examples of these perpetrators, to really publish them, let people know who they are and what they are capable of, we will be going nowhere.
a culprit can be fined and imprisoned for littering. A Roseau anti-littering committee, chaired by the Chief Environmental Health Officer, has made moves to strengthen enforcement.
What we have in that plan there is to get a day in court. The matter has been discussed with the Minister of Health and his Parliamentary Secretary, so that we can finalize to have a day in court, so that we can actually proceed with the cases for environmental issues. Because like we could look at all the areas like fisheries, forestry, environmental health, we have planning department, all that can come in under that court, that environmental court, so that we can have that court in place. So we can proceed with the cases, so people can know that there are laws in Dominica. It's a criminal offense under the law. Actually, it's a criminal offense to litter.
Scotland believes the existing penalties for littering need to be reviewed.
So you have the legislature that tell you, well, the magistrate have the authority to send you for 3 months in jail and pay $1,000. Under the litter act is conservative, it's like $25 for instant ticket. If he does not pay, you'll go to court, you'll get $100, $300. And I think that law itself needs to be amended to make littering more to pay a bigger fine for deterrence.
Pricing and other issues related to production at the National Abattoir are being ironed out as the testing phase is over. A stakeholders consultation was held this week to map out the next step for the $10 million Venezuelan-funded facility. Representatives from the Ministry of Agriculture met with BAM, Dexia, the DAIC, core farmers, stores and wholesalers to ensure efficiency in operations.
We have to ensure that we could bring down the price of feed. We have to ensure that the branding is done, that the stores can get the quality chicken that they deserve to get from us at the abattoir. And we are dealing now with the consumers, and we are trying to identify, to zero in on what we believe could be our problem areas as it comes to ensuring that the total works of the abattoir is successful.
Farmers expressed concern over the price of imported meat competing with local pork and poultry from the abattoir. Etienne says that issue has been considered.
We are trying to let the consultants understand that they have to extrapolate from all the information they have to give us a pricing point. But one thing I'll say to that is that when it comes to our product that we're going to put out there on the market, we're going to ensure that the price of pork is going to be competitive with the pork coming in. However, to stretch it a little further, we'll ensure that the quality is going to be so much better, so that if the pricing of us is equivalent to the prices of those coming in, the Dominican consumer will rush and get our product instead. So we are aware that the pricing has to be right, and not just for the product on the market, across the board. Production for the farmers, pricing for the live weight of the chickens and the pigs, and then, of course, the feed, and then the final product on the market.
He says recommendations from the consultation will advise them on the way forward for the abattoir. Meanwhile, Etienne is encouraging local farmers to take the necessary steps to be a part of the program.
This is not a program that's going to be for some. It's going to be for all, because there are primary levels and secondary levels, and everybody can make some money. For example, the farmer will make some money. What about the byproducts of the pork, of the chicken, the feed, the transportation? So this is a program, a pillar program for the Ministry of Agriculture that's going to be there for everyone. So like the farmers of this country, the wholesalers, the retailers, all the stakeholders to take this seriously as we tend to move this forward for everyone involved.
A U.S. eye care expert has given the island's health sector thumbs up in its provision of eye care services to the local population.
This as the Voluntary Optometric Services to Humanity VOSH mission visited here for a week, providing free eye care services around the country. Dr. Dan Rubel, who leads the mission to Dominica, says 3 epidemiological studies, one conducted after 5 years, another after 10 years, and the third after 20 years, have shown a non-alarming trend in the eye-related illnesses on island.
The interesting finding is the diabetes and the hypertension and the glaucoma are not higher than the average. In fact, the diabetic changes are equal to the United States. And, we're probably somewhat more industrialized, so you'd really think that it'd be higher down here. Glaucoma and hypertensive retinopathy are higher in blacks. yet Dominica does not rise above a lot of countries. They're pretty average. So what that says is the healthcare is doing a good job detecting early detection and treatment, and your people are healthy.
Rubel stated that Dominica's geographic location is cause for concern regarding the development of eye-related illnesses among the population.
I think we brought 5,000 pairs of prescription eyeglasses and 3,000 pairs of readers, and then about 1,200 sunglasses. So you're so close to the equator, that causes some problems too with the ultraviolet, because that pushes earlier cataract development and also that development of that fleshy growth on the side of the eye called a pterygium. So if we can educate people on sunglasses or hats to block out the ultraviolet, that really helps too. In no means, ways, buts, or ands is Dominica in worse shape. They're very average and actually above average for lower social economic countries. So you should be proud of that.
Chief Medical Officer, while applauding the mission for their continuous service to the people of Dominica, says the cost of their contribution towards the eye care on island does not go unnoticed. Approximately 1,800 people were screened during Vosh Mission's most recent trip to Dominica. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
2 occasions to observe the importance of Buyo and Kadas will be added to the country's calendar of events. From now on, according to Carnival promoter Val Coffey, February 2nd will be known as Buyo Day.
Buyo Day for Dominica is a day that's going to be devoted where all the artists that are involved in Buyo music, the music rotations on all these radio stations will be predominantly Buyo music. There are going to be interviews on DBS Radio Standpoint. There'll be Talking Point, and we hope Q95 will get onto the various talk shows on Kyrie FM and have the and Vice Radio and have the music being featured. We are asking all the Buyo bands in Dominica, if your catalogs are not put together yet, get it ready. Get your biographies put in check so that people get more familiar with you, because some of the problems that we face in discussing that with the radio stations is that we do not know who they are. We don't have their music. So that will be February 2nd every year, the Tuesday of Carnival Week.
Kadas Day has been proposed for August 25th.
It's also the intention that in discussion that August 25th will be Kadas Day in Dominica as well, because we're trying to keep the music of Dominica alive. And you may ask why August 25th? It's the birth date of the king, the originator of Kadas music in Gordon Henderson.
Sports is next with Kenny Williams.
Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. First up in sports, it had been a good run for Windward Volcanoes until their match against Barbados Pride ended in a 7-wicket defeat in the second semi-final of the Nagico Super 50 on Thursday. Volcanoes won the toss and chose to bat, scoring a combined 175 all out. Devon Smith top scored with 44, while Tyrone Theophile and Sunil Ambrose supported with 32 each. Liam Sebastian, Mervyn Matthew, and Kyle Mayers picked up 1 each for Volcanoes. Pride was then set 176 for victory, replying with 179 for 3. Craig Brathwaite scored 80, Shamar Brooks 33, Shai Hope and Jonathan Carter each scored 28. Bowling for Barbados, Suleiman Ben picked up 4 for 26, Jamel Warrican 2 for 30, Carlos Brathwaite 2 for 41, and Ashley Nurse 2 for 42. Then over at Windsor Park, Dominica State College and Castle Bruce Secondary went head-to-head.
College batted first, scoring 164, Dion Burton 43, Melvin D for 22, Callian Wilshire 3 for 31, Nilbert Thomas 2 for 27. Castle Bruce replied with 94 all out. Ronaldo Telemac top scored with 29, Josiah Hilton 4 for 15, Nathan Sebastian 3 for 13, Sherman Dorset 3 for 17. Back in the second time, the State College came in and added 64 for 1. Rashaki John Reese ended on 28, Dion Burton 22 not out. Castle Bruce with 25 for 1 at stumps.
Moving on to football, a window of opportunity has opened for yet another local footballer to demonstrate his skills. National football striker Julian Wade has been selected to play with a football club in Minnesota for football tryouts from January 25 to February 1.
I have been afforded this opportunity compliments Alex Binbury and his 442 Management Agency. I will be leaving Guyana on January 25th to February 1st on a trial in Minnesota. The trial will be with Minnesota FC, who plays in the NASL in the United States. That's the second division. This opportunity is a good one because Minnesota FC has already won their 2017 MLS bid. So that's basically saying that they will be playing in the MLS in 2017. Providing that I'm successful, this will give me a good cushion to play second division football before going into 2017, which will be MLS. Preparation for me has been good because currently I'm doing preseason training with my team Slingers FC in Guyana. And prior to that, I spent my Christmas in Europe where it was very cold. So I got a chance to do a bit of jogging, some exercises and some gym, which would help me cope with the cold weather in America.
Meantime, Maho Soccer Strikers had Starring and Son St. Joseph under their heel for an embarrassing 11-0 pounding in Division 1 football Thursday night.
The match between Maho Soccer Strikers and Starring and Son St. Joseph ended prematurely 20 minutes into the second half. St. Joseph, who started the match with 8 players, were at a major disadvantage and found themselves 9 goals down at the interval. When the second half got underway, Soccer Strikers netted 2 more goals, while St. Joseph were reduced to 6 men through injury, resulting in the referee blowing off the match with 25 minutes of play remaining. Meantime, in a doubleheader at the Pori playing field, Cubechis Barbershop Buffet State and Grand for Young Boys played to a 1-1 draw in the first match. Derrickson McDonald scored for Buffet State, with Leon Pascal scoring for Grand for Young Boys. In the second match of the night, RC Doctors and Killfield Football Club played to a 0-0 draw.
Defending champions Carrie FM Exodus Football Club and league leaders Dublin Football Club are among teams scheduled to create some foot and ball excitement at Windsor Park this weekend.
Meantime, in the DFA Flow Premier League on Saturday, Sajiko Southeast will take on defending champions Carrie FM Exodus Football Club at 3 p.m. in the first match of a doubleheader at the Windsor Park Stadium, to be followed by Northern Concrete and Steel Bombers versus league leaders Dublin Football Club at 5 p.m. In another doubleheader on Sunday at the Windsor Park Stadium, Sideman Middleham United will come up against Malta India Icons Football Club at 3 p.m, while at 5 p.m. it will be Buffet State Football Club versus Caribbean Cool Harlem United.
Meantime, the DFA will host a medical course for football clubs at the Football House on Saturday from 9 a.m.
All clubs and teams in the Premier and Division 1 League are asked to send 2 representatives. The course will be facilitated by Drs. Coulson George and Robertson Thomas, also Albert Noel, Clement John Baptist, and Carlton Languedoc. Another local course will be held later down for the All-Island League and the Women's League.
And quickly in track and field, we can tell you that the Dominica Amateur Athletics Association will be hosting its first development meet of the year at Benjamin Park in Portsmouth on Sunday. The games begin from 10 a.m. and will go up until 3 p.m. Finally, Jubic Strikers and NTCU Dumsetco Stars will try to outdo each other when they face off in the finals of the National Rounders League on Sunday at Botanical Gardens. The match begins at noon. We have reached the end of our sports report. I am Kenny Williams. Have an awesome weekend.
We'll now hear from our friends at the Met Office for the weekend weather forecast.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. Earlier satellite imagery showed generally fair weather conditions across most of the islands of the West Antilles, with a few low-level clouds observed across the southern portion of the island chain. Here in Dominica, mostly fair skies were observed today, with radar imagery indicating limited shower activity across the island. For tonight, the weather is expected to be fair to partly cloudy with brief showers, with winds coming out from the east near 40 kilometers per hour. For tomorrow, a few scattered showers can be expected, with winds now from the southeast near 40 kilometers per hour. Sea conditions are expected to be moderate in open water, with waves peaking near 8 feet. A small craft advisory is now in effect for above normal northerly swells. For the next 3 days, expect scattered showers across the islands with temperatures peaking near 30 degrees Celsius. For the remainder of the Caribbean tomorrow, a few scattered showers can be expected across the island chain. On the international cities forecast, some cold temperatures in Beijing and generally fair weather conditions in Miami, London, Caracas, and Beijing, with the big story being the winter storm expected in the northeast USA, with some snow expected in New York. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:46 a.m. and set at 5:59 p.m. For additional information, feel free to contact us at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for joining us and have a good weekend.
To end the news, the headlines again. Dominica to be better positioned to respond to disasters with disaster reduction equipment from Japan. Telecoms Minister appeals for Ectel management to place lower roaming rates high on its agenda, and a request from an environmental court by environmental health authorities. Email us at news@mapping2k4.com and visit our YouTube channel to catch up on our past newscasts. On behalf of the production team, I'm Lurian Graham Carter. Have a great weekend.